Hello and welcome once again to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes and I have the church giggles sitting next to Matt Rhodes.
Good morning, everyone.
Every time you touch your water bottle, it just like jingles the ice inside. And I don't know why it just made me giggle.
She's laughing because
Shh.
right as I'm hitting the record button, she goes, "You're in charge of opening us up." I'm like, nope.
Come on.
Yeah.
Casual speaking.
Banter. I'm not good at banter.
Yes, you are.
I'm more straight to the point.
Well, a lovely quality as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was our banter.
Yeah.
Good job. Nailed it.
I was in charge of it today.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
High five. Before we jump in today, I want to make sure that I send a special thank you to everyone that has supported us on this podcast. We are already in March. Thank you, sweet Jesus. We made it. We did it. Daylight savings hit. It's going to stay darker later. Guys, we did it. I saw that and I'm like, that's right. The sun starts setting later. So obviously this drops in March. Technically, we are a quote-unquote fitness and how-to podcast. Since we own an online fitness company, since we own a coaching company, since we own brick-and-mortar gyms. So this is actually the time of year that fitness is on people's minds. So I would expect an uptick of downloads, especially the different topics that we've been touching on recently, building that momentum, knowing that it's going to be this time of year. But our producer sent us a message that the downloads have just exploded recently. So I want to thank you for that growth. Thank you for sharing our message. Thank you for just tuning in just to figure out what's going to come out of my mouth next. But we don't do this for the downloads. We don't do this for the external high fives or yes, that totally hit. We do this to reach more people, and the downloads are a result of that. So again, thank you. I want to ask you to do one thing to keep this going. I want you to share or forward or send this to somebody that you think would find value in our message.
Today's the day to do that because today's going to be fire. The way we develop episodes, and we've probably talked about this before, is one of us just comes up with a topic.
I usually have just like a sentence and you create from there.
Well, no, we both usually Jen has a sentence. She sends it over to me, and then we both kind of put together our bullet points. We compare notes, and then we hit record. And I would love to say that we are so organized that we have the rest of the year's podcast, ready to go. But that's not the case. It's usually what's on our mind this week. And this topic came down from a consultation Jen had with a guy. And she sent this over, and we started putting our bullet points together. And where we're at with our business now are the people that we're talking to that are coming to us usually don't know us. I would call it almost, I hate this word, but I'm going to say it, cold market, because they just don't know us personally, meaning they saw one of our ads or they saw us on social media.
I've seen a lot of that lately.
Yeah. And they started following us. They sent us a DM. They're interested in what we're talking about. And that's how this guy got in touch with you. That is the topic of today's podcast. Mm-hmm. So what happens next is we jump on a Zoom call with them and we walk through, what are you looking for? What have you tried in the past that worked really well? What have you tried in the past that hasn't worked? And from there, we see if we can help them out. Yeah. We're trying to see if it's a match.
Yeah. The key, you said something key that I want to highlight is we walk through what they're looking for, or what goal they have in mind. But that isn't just, hey, Joe Blow, what are you looking for? Right? Like it's not that kind of a conversation, but we dig pretty deep. And once we have been able to really get a grasp on all the things that they've tried and why they've tried them, we're going to get down to the real reason that they booked a call with us specifically. We are known for a very specific result, men and women.
Yeah. And we've been doing this we've been in the fitness business for 20 years. Even prior to the gyms, we were in supplements. And about 3 or 4 years ago, we got really crystal clear and very authentic in what we wanted, what we stood for, what we stood against. And when that happened, we started to notice a real rhythm of what's kind of going on. And I want to walk through that rhythm. I guess it's more of a sequence of events. And I want anyone listening to tell me if this sounds familiar to you. And let me be clear before I go any further. I'm not talking New Year's resolutions.
No, we're past that.
Although this timing is around that, but I'm not going to be preaching from the pulpit of keeping those New Year's resolutions going. This is something a little bit different. So let's go back to maybe October. Because October is, we've wrapped up the summer. We've had our summer barbecues. We've done all those fun things, and we start to put on more layers of clothes, at least in the Midwest where we're at.
It's when I go inside officially.
It starts to get a little bit colder. And then we roll into, well, we're basically hitting a lot of holidays. Mm-hmm. We've got Halloween in October. We've got Thanksgiving. We got Christmas. In our mind, we've worked really hard all summer, and we're going to coast a little bit, which is all good. And then we roll into January, and we say, this is our year. This is the year that I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. And as Jen has said many times, language matters. This is the year I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. So we start to do those things. We start to try and act healthy. We don't go overboard, but we want to feel better. So we go to the gym. We do the gym. We start eating a little bit healthier. We start getting our steps, and we're certainly eating healthier than we did in October, November, and December at this time. And this goes on till about March, where we put in this effort and we think we've made some progress. And it's time to head to spring break or maybe just a quick trip with the kids. And that's when it hits. We look in the mirror and we say, why do I not look like I'm in shape? I've been doing all these things. And that's when the questions start to come in. Mm-hmm. The questions of, well, I really probably don't deserve this picture that I had in my head of what in shape means and what healthy means when I said that a few months ago. I haven't really worked hard enough for it. I'm a busy parent. I'm not a fitness model. Man, I slipped up a couple times, and that's really what threw me off. And I'm just not dedicated. So you start reasoning and questioning those things. Does any of this sound familiar? I know it does. So why does this happen?
Well, this is so very simple, and we don't harness this logic often until we're in this moment. I'm going to use an analogy in a minute. You said you wanted to be in shape. You said you wanted to be healthy. You told your coach, I want the map to health. But in your mind, you wanted abs. And now I'm not saying having abs is unhealthy, but you said one thing, but you really meant something much more detailed. You didn't admit it. You didn't admit you wanted that specific of a shape. You just wanted a shape. You have a shape. Congrats. It's why language matters. It's like going to your travel agent and saying, I want to book a trip somewhere warm. And you land in Phoenix and you're like, why the hell am I not in Maui? Well, did you say Maui? You just said warm. It's the exact same thing. And I want you to understand language matters. You're dialing up this menu for yourself because you didn't admit you wanted abs. You didn't admit you want that toned shoulders. That's the thing. Like, honestly, that's the thing I'm known for. My ladies come to me. They're like, I want shoulders. I'm like, let's go. Because you have to be specific. You didn't think you could actually get to it. Or you thought you would have to work too hard to get it. Or that you'd have to starve to get it. You knew you were a busy parent. You knew you weren't a fitness model. You knew you might slip up a little. So you played it safe. You used safe language. It's okay. Safe language is fine. But be honest with yourself. Because you never admitted what you wanted because you didn't think you could do it and you didn't think you deserved it. Now, I have worked with many business owners over the years, whether clients or colleagues that have traded in their health for money. I know you know some as well.
Yep.
I asked them how they got started in business and how they got to where they are now. In some shape or form, they say something like, I wanted a 7-figure business so I could have freedom and take care of my family. Every day I got to work and now I have it. I work with so many parents whose kids are getting ready to go to college or have left for college. And they tell me, I wanted my kids to have the best future possible. So every day I worked to provide them with opportunities. Things like taking them to practice when they were younger, or private hitting lessons, or late nights trying to help them with math. Oh my God, math. When we're able to triangulate on that exact process, it's lights out. They admit what they want. And yeah, they go to work on it every day. Their definitions are clear.
It's easy to say, I want a 7-figure business so I can take care of my family. It's also easy to say, I want to do everything I can to make sure that my child has the best opportunity and is successful. But it's hard to say, I want this for me. Me. It's hard because you've been taught through society's norms that wanting something for yourself is not always the correct thing to do. And the abs thing is a double whammy. Because the people look like that, it's total vanity.
There's shame in it.
Yes.
There's shame in it.
But it's easy to say those things, and they also make sense. It also makes sense to say, I want to work hard for a 7-figure business so I can take care of my family and have freedom. I want to work really hard to make sure my kid is the most successful. But it's hard to say, I want abs, or I want this with my body. And it's hard to do it to say I need it. And let me break this down for anyone who's never had abs. If you haven't caught on yet, abs is a metaphor for anything.
It's a symptom.
Why do I want and need abs? Because when I get to that place, I show up differently in the world through everything that I did to get to there. Not that it was a long, hard road, but it was things that I got to work every day. And I show up differently to the world because of that. I've given myself permission to go get what I want, which then changes into other areas of my life. That's how I show up differently. I know what I want and I go after it. I wanted abs and I needed them. I got them. Other things I want and I need and I go after them. When you begin to admit these types of things to yourself, things start to change. Whether it's really abs or it's the metaphor. The walls start to come down. You start to see things clearly. You start to see things differently. The road starts to straighten out for you. It has less bends, less curves. You start behaving differently when you go after what you really want.
Yeah. You know what you want. And you verbalize it. Don't keep it up here. The minute you speak it, it becomes gospel. Right? Admit it. Even if you just have to whisper it. Make it known, make it audible, and you go after what you want. So I want to tie this up with where I started with the guy that I had a consultation with last week. And great conversation. Great. I asked him how he found us. And he said he saw us on Instagram and got into some of my content, but saw actually a lot of parallels with Matt's content and things that Matt shares. And that's kind of what piqued his interest with working with us. And I said, so what what did I say? What was the magic sauce? He said, well, it seemed like you had a system that could help me. I said, okay. What exactly are you looking help with? He says, I want to get healthy like you guys. and like the clients you've showed. But I feel like you're speaking directly to me. I've always kept what I've wanted to myself. And you guys just come out and say blatantly what you want. And you have no shame around it. And from what I can tell, there's no negativity around it. People support you in what you say you want. I want that too. It's okay. So you want to be healthy is what you're saying. That's what I hear. And he got really quiet. He said, no, I want abs. I want what Matt describes when he talks about fucking abs. He says, Matt talks about it in such a way that he says, I know that there's something primal in that activates within him. Knowing that he can show up as his best self for you. He goes, I want that whole package. I want to look like I'm grabbing life by the horns. Okay. Why? He said, because I want my wife to look at me the way I can tell you look at Matt. I want to feel young again. I want to have that fire again. It's been missing for so long, and I don't even know when I put out the flame. I want to feel free from hiding underneath these clothes that just cover up my stomach. And I want to accomplish anything I put my mind to. It's how I built my family, and it's how I built my business. And I want to show my children, you want it? Go get it. So I've actually decided to call his custom programming Wolverine because it kind of had that. I was like, all right, let's go primal, buddy.
Better trademark that.
Yes.
When you saw the title of this podcast, you probably thought, okay, they're going to give me the silver bullet. They're going to give me the specifics that I need to do for my workouts. Or they're going to give me the specific diet that I need to get abs. Or maybe you thought of something totally different. I will tell you though, we didn't talk workouts. We didn't talk macros. But we did give you this silver bullet. The only thing holding you back, and it's held you back this whole time, is taking that first step and admitting what you really, really want. It isn't the workouts and it isn't the diets, because you can't even start there until you get to what Jen just said. That guy on the phone explaining to Jen, a somewhat stranger, he knows us through social media, you can't start and get where you want until you get to that level when you're explaining those things, what you really, really want. Just can't tackle them until you admit it. I think if you look around on social media, look up to people, people that you look up to. I follow a lot of people that I really look up to. And you know what they have? They all say what they want. They all do it because they know it is the first step to admitting what you want. And everyone listening right now, you know it's the first step as well because you've been doing this in all the other areas of your life. Just like we just said, if you built that business for your family, you knew what you wanted, you said what you wanted, you got to work every day. If you wanted the best for your kids, you did all those things as they were growing up because you knew that that's what you had to do.
Yeah.
You admitted that's what you want to do. So you already know this is the first step. Then you started believing in yourself, whatever you were doing. And then that road got more clear. Just like we said earlier. You just haven't done this in your fitness because, as we said, the societal norms, the vanity, wanting things for yourself, you don't need it. When you flip that switch and you admit this is what you want, just like you have in other areas of your life, that's when you go lights out. And I hope what we've said today, I hope this message has hit some of you to realize maybe this is probably what's been holding you back. You got to start admitting what you really want. Whether it's abs or whatever it is, you got to start.
I really want a steak.
It's dinner time, I guess. Or breakfast time. Steak and eggs.
Guys, I hope this hit. I hope you found some nuggets of wisdom that you can take to yourself. You can share with someone that you love. Maybe you see somebody that's holding themselves back. Maybe you notice their language and you want to help pull them up with you. If you did like it, share it, give us a 5-star review. You know that's the only way we can grow this thing. And if anything, we will talk to you next time.